This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Hey guys, welcome to another Thursday edition of Game Time. I'm here, as always, with the Doctor of Style, the man, the myth, the legend, the ladies' man.
Jay's away, the guys will play. Jay's away, the guys will play.
Oh my god, this is the type of show you're tuning in for this week. It's gonna get crazy. Glenn just got a delivery right before the show, right?
I did. I got my initial 15 Build-A-Cades that I'll be sending out to certain influencers to, review with the full control deck. And I just actually posted a video right before we went live here about a little something else we're working on, which is the Build-A-Cade base. So check it out after the show. Go to my channel, look at the Build-A-Cade base.
So if you want one of these, you need to go over to Glenn's and be one of the first 15 to comment on his video, and you will get one of these.
You're not lying to them. That is not true.
So when is Doug getting his Build-A-Cade?
Actually, I haven't gotten you your track poll. You asked me like 2 weeks ago, so I got to get these out for sure.
I'm just teasing. Also, we've got Wild Bill in the house.
Hey,
what's going on?
I'm here.
It's great to have
Glenn,
you.
So wait, Glenn, you made a riser for your Build-A-Cade.
I figure Arcade One have stole from me. I might as well steal a little bit from them. So yeah, we built a riser for the Build-A-Cade. Check out the video after the show.
It's
only fair.
Is that for midgets?
No, but you know what we noticed? You know, when I was at the last gaming expo, was it the Long Island Gaming Expo when I was with Bill? 2 people commented. They were tall. I mean, these guys were tall. I mean, I'm 5'8". These guys had to be like 6'3", 6'4", and they were noticing it. They can't really see the top of the screen when they're sitting down. They have to kind of look down.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? If we do something like this, look at the video. We have a little nut. You turn, not me, a different kind of nut, and you can adjust the angle of the machine. So if you are too tall, you can adjust the machine so it fits your height, and it gives you a stronger base to put it down on.
Yeah.
But see, I'm all about listening to people and trying to make things work, where like Arcade One-Up's about, a lot of times giving you guys a finger and saying too bad.
So with Jayde not being here today, she is spending the day with her daughter at Disneyland. I got to make sure I say Disneyland because that's what's in California. So you got some big shoes to fill today. We've got Mr. Endless
Got a dress on, I hope.
Dan.
Better have a dress on.
What's going on? Look at him with the Yoda and everything.
He's going to throw me a pass. Baby Yoda! I fumbled it. Oh. My fantasy football team's doing just about as good as that catch was.
Yeah.
But hey, everybody!
What's going on? So, essentially, if anybody wants to see what it's going to look like with the Build-A-Cade, with the riser, this is what you're looking at. This is how it will look.
Yellow.
You could do yellow. You can get your own custom graphics.
I still say plastic's the way to go.
Plastic's the way to go.
Doesn't get waterlogged when your basement floods.
And it floats. So if you
It
just grab a
does
paddle.
All right, we got a bunch of guys here in the chat room. We've got Adam Calb. We have, this Bill's Retro Gaming Show guy. Frank D in the house. Console Fanboy. P-Dub's Arcade Loft. Let me see. Who else do we have in here? Guys, help me out. Some guy named Endless One Up. Jennifer Wyatt. Am I missing anybody here? It's scrolling quick through it. And some other guy named Glenn's Retro Show. I don't.
Well, she's saying hi to Adam. Do I have to worry here?
You might.
Hi to Adam.
Well, you're the one. Listen, you were the one that was out on the town with your son. Come on now. See? This is where we're at today. This is the type of show. Jayde leaves for 1 week.
The girls away, the guys can play. That's the theme of tonight's show.
That's what I should have called it, But I didn't. And I figured we were going to have a big discussion around this. And chat room, we really want you to be involved in this. Because I think it's an interesting topic. It comes up every single time pre-orders go live. But
Not every single time.
Well, okay, with the exception of certain products. But before we do that, we will get into that. We've got some time. Dan, I want to give you an opportunity to tell everybody, if they don't know who you are, a little bit about yourself, your channel, how you got started.
Cool.
This is your floor. Take it away.
Sweet. What's up, everybody? I'm Dan, or AKA Endless One Up. I have a channel that I usually kind of focus on things that I'm interested in. Sometimes I jump around. My current theme is the Steam Deck, and it's right here. I hit myself in the head with it. It's light. But yeah, and I'm silly, obviously. If you like to just maybe relax and not have to be worried about stuff for a second, you come watch one of my videos. Sometimes I put a little more effort and do some memes in the videos and then make them pretty funny. So yeah, come on by, check out my channel. It's just youtube.com, Endless One Up.
And there's one other thing. You talked about the Steam Deck here.
Yeah.
But you're giving one of those away on your show.
What?
That's right. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away a 64 gigabyte brand new Steam Deck, and I already placed the order for it, so it's on its way here.
So you pre-ordered it?
Yeah.
See, that works sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it works. It works.
Well, actually, the funny thing is, so I pre-ordered the one I have in hand, like within 1 minute that it went live, and I've had this since July. But this one, I've had that before July. I don't know what I'm saying, but I had it in Q1. But I ordered this one in July, and now it's coming. That's pretty quick. That's only like 2.5 months turnaround right now. That's pretty fast. I'm impressed by Steam and Valve for what they're doing. Because July to I'm gonna have it before the end of this month. That's pretty cool.
So Console Fanboy says, it's real simple. Dan is the funniest guy and the nicest guy alive, and that's all you need to know. Mr.
Look at my cheeks, they got all red.
Yeah. Glenn, there's a new chatter in the chat room called Glen Fan Club President. Congrats on 1,000, Dan.
Well, we're not there yet. We're close.
Where Damon wants to know. He goes, "Where's Cool Toy?" I thought about asking him to come on, and then he probably would have said no, because he would have been like, "Yeah, you're just trying to rope me into coming back on the show, and I have no interest in talking about any of the arcade stuff that you guys are talking about,
except the ones I'm buying at my house right now."
Right, the real ones. He's too good for us now, Glenn. He likes the real toys.
Well, I always hold you guys back. So.
What, you don't have the real toys? Is that? Well, no, you have the Zaxxon.
I do, and I really got to find a way to get that thing fixed. I mean, it works, but the whole bottom is waterlogged. It's sad. It's just sad.
So here's something else before we get into what our main topic here. I was thinking about it. Like I've been watching my channel kind of slowly grow, and I'm not really big on YouTube, but there's some things that I want to do in order to do that. I have to obviously grow the channel. So I started thinking and toying around, and thinking is dangerous with me. So I was thinking there's a hot new product out in the market, and I thought, well, this would be really cool for the people and even the co-hosts that are up here if they want to join in the giveaway. And what I want to do is get the subscriber count on here on the Tech Buzz. I'd like to hit 10,000 by next summer if possible, even before then, because if I can hit before then, well, we're going to add something else to the pot, but you'll find out about that later. But here's what I have right now. Everybody's been clamoring for this Legends Bit LCD, and I have it here in hand. That's why it's up there on my desk. That's why I'm showing it. I am showing you the back of the box because my address is on the front, and I know a lot of you guys, you're going to zoom in and try to get my address, and then I'm going to get all kinds of rabbits and
Cookies
things like
and
that on my
cakes
front.
And pies.
Yeah, well, that could actually be good.
Penises.
You'll be sending me like pizzas or something. And
I'll be sending you Thundersticks.
yeah, could be. So, if you're interested and all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, and then when I put the official video up of this, I'm going to put up an official giveaway video. Just comment, "Hey, I subscribed," and then I'll be able to see if you actually subscribed or not. So that's what you got to do if you want to get ahead of the game. Go ahead and do that now. But I'm sure Glenn, to get his subscriber count up, I'm sure at some point he's going to give away one of those Build-A-Cades.
I can't sign up for that 8,461st time on my own channel. I mean, I'm running out of email addresses to make.
Listen, I'm trying to help you.
For my
I
subscribers.
can't do
Thanks.
I can't do everything for you here, Glenn. I'm throwing the ideas out there.
8,000 emails I created for my own subscriber count. It's just crazy.
This is why I get spammed all the time, because of this guy. Dan, help me out here.
All I have to say is if that 8,000 subscribers, like if you made those, that's like a lot of work.
It is. It
Yeah.
is a lot of work. I'm
Like-
telling you, it is.
Like that's a lot of work.
Bill, you know his secret now.
I do.
Dedication.
Yeah,
Is
dedication
that
to
what we're
make
calling it?
Yes.
Like you could probably like put like a lost dog sign up in your corner like neighborhood and then just have your YouTube channel listed there. And you'd probably get more subscribers that way. I might try that.
Cammy's here. Oh, it's always amazing. She comes on the show. She's down from the land down under, Australia. So it's probably really early in the morning, her time. So I'm glad she made it.
So I want to put this out here really quick. I see Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Ezekiel, I was talking to the guys last week after the show. Apparently, you super chatted. It never showed up on my little
Yeah, we're sorry
software.
about that.
I want to put this out there front and center. Thank you so much for that. It didn't go unnoticed, but I didn't see it. Glenn and Bill and
Bill totally
Jayde,
saw it. He's
they saw it,
insane.
and
Bill totally saw it. He ignored him.
I didn't see. Uh-huh.
I didn't see it.
but I didn't. It didn't come up. I have a.
Hang on, my back hurts from that bus that just ran over me. Hang on, it's like, oh.
Well, you were carrying us last week. My chat that I have that I bring up comments for it, and that's the only chat I watch. It never showed, and usually it does show super chats. So, listen, if it happens in there and we're not ignoring the super chat, but we don't see it, feel free. The rest of you chatters be like, "Hey, somebody super chatted. Go back and look,"
Please.
because we don't. Sometimes I don't see it because I'm watching 3 or 4 chats inside of my application I use to bring this up. So.
That's an understatement. You're like watching the Space Center launch. Like it's
There's a lot of
it's
stuff
the
that we
Death
gotta watch.
Star. It's the Death Star. That's what it is.
There's a lot of things, but we do
But
appreciate
it's
it.
the nice. It's the nice Death Star. It's the nice star.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, you don't have to do super chats. You know, we try to read as many chats. We keep watching it and pull it up, but we do appreciate it. And like I said, because of your generosity, we're able to bring some cool giveaways like this. And I like I said, I want to be able to bring another product to you if possible. So that's, let's get those subscribers. That to me would be huge. And I'm sure the rest of these guys would really appreciate if you haven't subscribed to Bill or Dan or even Glenn. I mean, he can't make any more emails. All the servers have blocked it.
Yeah, I think Hotmail got shut down. I don't know. Does it still exist?
All right, let's get into tonight's topic about pre-orders. Every time this subject comes up, I see it in these chat rooms on Facebook, Reddit, all these places about. I don't know why I bother to pre-order when the stores are just going to get them anyways. And
I keep telling you,
we've all been saying this. Glenn and I have been saying this since day one. I could have pre-ordered. You can ask Jayde. I could have pre-ordered Marvel vs. Capcom 2 like 15 times. I had it in my cart. Could have done it. I was just trying to see if hey, is it this hard? Because there was people saying it was hard to get, and I'm like, I had it 15 times. So I'm a big believer. If you remember, Glenn, I really wanted The Simpsons when it came out, and you and Doug both were like, "Don't do it. It's going to come down in price." And I ended up getting it last week for $199, and there's a lot of people that paid $6.99 for it.
Suckers.
So, Arcade went up, but they're not the only ones that do it. Other companies have also put out product. They have you pre-order it. You never get it because they'll discontinue the product. So I don't want to just say we're throwing the gauntlet at Arcade One Up, but
I will because my pre-orders always come out. So
So I made sure to say to Glenn, because I know your pre-order went up. I was like, this isn't like a bash on you, but there's a lot of people that are mad because they
honestly,
pre-ordered.
they really should be. They should be because not every single time, but almost every single time with Arcade One Up, you do these pre-orders. They're in the stores first, number one, and number two, if you have a problem with it, a part's missing, a part's broke, you can just go back to the store and return it. You don't have that same luxury when you do the pre-order through Arcade One Up Direct. You got to wait for them to get parts in stock they don't even have when they launch the item. You may have to wait months sometimes. So I'm always a fan of. I understand people want it, and maybe I would just wait because every single pre-order they had so far has generally been someone goes to the store and comes home with it, and they've posted on my Facebook group, "I got it," and everyone's pissed off and yelling at me like, "Glenn, what's going on here? I'm not Arcade One Up. Go yell at them."
That thing was pre-ordered, and that was pointless. Like I wanted to get it like sooner than the box stores and stuff, and I ended up getting it like weeks after that. So yeah, I agree with you, Glenn. It's pre-ordering stuff. I've never been a fan of pre-ordering stuff because I was taught a long time ago that you should not hand somebody money until you have the item in hand.
Right. Well, the thing is, if you do a pre-order, you should have respect for the people. You should respect the people who did that. Make sure they get the priority. They should really get it first. They're blind, like you just said, blindly giving you the money, saying, "I want this product this bad. I want to be one of the first to get it," and you rob them from that, and that's not right. And it looks like P-Dubs is burning a hole in his wallet right now. $25 super chat. Future giveaway fund. Keep up the great work. We only got like $1 or $2 super chats. It may take a while. We can do something like that, but. Appreciate it.
But no, I think
P-Dubs.
thank you. I think you're right on that. I think when you pre-order, the expectation is there. And I was talking with Keo Dyken before the show here, and I'm not going to get into some of the stuff that he was talking to me about, but if you're not subscribed to Keo Dyken, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I'm putting a plug out for him because he's going to be coming out with a video shortly to explain this phenomena of the pre-ordering, that he's got some very valuable information that he shared with me that I'm not going to talk about here on air because I don't want to steal his thunder.
Let him have his video. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to. But what I am going to do is put a plug in so you guys go subscribe to his channel so you can hear what he has to say. But I think my expectation when I pre-order something, just like a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox or anything else that I pre-order, an iPhone. Okay, because we know the iPhones are hot and heavy. Bill, your expectation is that you're going to be one of the first to get it or get it on launch day. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, there's that. The other side of that, I guess, is if you're concerned that something is going to sell out, that pre-ordering it basically should guarantee that you're going to get it. Even if you don't get it first, at least you're guaranteeing you're going to get it by pre-ordering. But it seems like that's a rare phenomenon now where things just sell out that quick. I mean, unless you know ahead of time that a certain item is coming out and they're limiting it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that's a good point. That's another thing that a lot of the community was really feeling hot and heavy about because within, we'll just use the example of Arcade 1-Up with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Within 3 minutes, it was sold out on their website, but then all these other stores were popping up, and like most people are like, I didn't even see it go live. And Frank in the chat room says, I don't like to pre-order because I get anxiety waiting for stuff, especially something big like an arcade cabinet. And then the real Smile Bit, I think that's how you say it. He says, I guess I just believe that pre-order does not mean you get it first, just that you'll get it on company release date. If you do not get it on the release date, then that would make him upset, and that's fine. Glenn, you said
there's a little truth to that. I mean, when you go to like Walmart a couple of times, and I actually did a video on it with at Games of Legends. I think it was the Atari Flashback 7.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't supposed to be released for like another month, but it was on the shelf. So I went up and I picked it up. I have a manager approve it, but I bought it like a month before it was supposed to be released. So that part is true. But I do think that maybe it's just a person's expectation that if I'm ordering it from the manufacturer, I'm one of the first to get it. And just pretty much how it's come every time, though. You go to the store, and you're going to get it first. And, again, if there's a problem with the machine, if something's broken, like the cabinet, you go right back to Walmart or wherever you Best Buy. You'll take care of right then and there. Arcade 1-Up, historically, you're waiting for any part.
But that's
you don't have them.
But let's make something perfectly clear. That we're saying that's the expectation, not what they're telling you is going to happen. So,
and not what I've experienced either. So yeah, not what I haven't experienced that. That's my expectation, and that's what I wanted to experience. But that is never what's happened. And like just even recently, I pre-ordered Xenoblade, and that didn't come. I had to wait for that. And there was another game that I just pre-ordered that I thought I would get it like on the release date. No, I had to wait like a week. So I was like, what the heck am I doing?
Mhm.
I see Keo Daikin is in the chat room here. He said most companies only want $5 to $10 down for a pre-order. Even Steam Deck only asks for $5. One Up wants it all paid in full. That's a good point.
Very valid.
That's a very valid point with something. Even GameStop. If you go to GameStop and you want, say, a new PS5 game, Xbox game, Switch game, you put $5 down, right? I mean, you're not
Are they
paying.
still around? Does GameStop still exist?
GameStop does, believe it or not. You haven't been there to take all the bags, so you wouldn't know. They banned you. They banned you years ago. But Dan, what you wanted Tron, so let's talk about this for a second.
Man, first of all, good man, a good choice.
You wanted Tron, you pre-ordered it. You didn't care, am I right? You didn't care if you were first to get it. You just wanted to make sure you got it.
Yeah, well, I kind of did want it first because it's like it was such a nostalgic cab for me. Like it's the cab I played the most in like this place called Skateland where I grew up. But we also had the environmental one with Discitron, and that was my favorite.
Yeah.
That one's my absolute favorite, and I would love to own that. But that thing, like the real cab's, like over $10,000, and I'm, that's if you can find one too, because there's not a lot of them that have actually all the parts. But yeah, so I pre-ordered that in hopes to kind of get it soon, but I didn't get it until like weeks, and then when I did get it, it was a dud. And to what you guys said, if I would have got it at Walmart, if I would have got it at Best Buy, I could have just been like, "Oh, this sucks. I'm going to put it back in the box and take it back."
Well, explain the dud. Explain the dud part.
Oh my gosh, it was such a pain in the butt. So first of all, my audio was like causing, if I tried to use the audio up or down, it would cause the machine to bog down and reset. So there was that. And then at one point, the PCB just failed.
Oh,
and then I had the spinner fail on it too. See?
Surprising.
Yeah, so I had to get it. And then it was dead for a while because the PCB, because I couldn't take it back to a store. And then it was dead because of the spinner. I don't think I could use it for quite a while. So not only did the pre-order suck, but then the experience afterwards was poopy. That's why I haven't.
Well, I can't say that, coming down the pipe, if your spinner goes bad, G-Red's got you covered. This is the Tron, Arcade 1 of Tron version of the spinner. That won't break on you. In fact, quality. So I'll say that right there.
It's upside down. Flip it around.
What's it upside down?
It's upside down. Flip it around. No. It's back. Oh, your video. No, your video's backwards. It's mirrored.
Yeah, it's called the video. Hello.
Well, then you have to mirror it inside your OBS, man. Come on.
Yeah.
No, I told you, my 180 by 180 connects camera over a PS2.
I'm trying to help you sell
Your
these things.
Your high-quality camera does.
If you're using OBS virtual camera, I think you can just right-click your video image and go to transform.
And just flip it.
Oh, transform? Like Transformers?
Yeah, transform it like
and then flip it horizontally.
It
will. I'll make it for you. Ready?
Yeah, here we go.
It was horrible.
Let me take a look at the chat room here. We've got Keo Daikin says October is going to be really interesting. I'm going to pull back to Zero Hero. Zero Hero says, but let's be honest, a lot of people complaining about these companies and being out of a pre-order are never going to buy a cabinet to start with. It's easier to be negative than it is positive. I agree with that.
True.
Very true.
Let's go to Matt Astra here. Matt Astra says, I just want to get something in time to make a video on it. And it hasn't already been done 100 times that week. Well, you're in the wrong niche, my friend, because...
Well, funny that he says that, because that's kind of what my hopes and dreams were for my Tron. But they fail short. So.
Yeah, that's unfortunately in this space. And I'm just going to be completely transparent here. That's why you have these influencer programs with these companies, because even if you buy it, you can kind of get on we're going to send it to you first because they know you're going to do a video on it. So that's the work that you put in to be a content creator. And then you also got to be grilled by these companies. And Glenn will tell you that they want X amount of videos at X amount of time, and they want it out, and that's the exchange.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But
that sounds like a job.
It really is. That's why when
Mhm.
people sit there and they'll say, "Oh, it must be nice that you got that for free," and I'm like,
Well,
"I just worked
the-
for
the
15
worst
hours for
part-
that."
The worst
Yeah.
part is when you do that, right? They get to send you a product, you give your opinion, and they don't really particularly like.
Yeah, they
your
don't like
opinion,
what
they
you
want
had to
you
say.
Redo it.
Yep.
Then you just say, take the product back, man. It's like, no.
Yep.
If you give me something to review, I'm going to review it. If I find a fault,
I'm going to
Yeah,
talk
I'm
about it.
tell you about it. You're
Yep.
not going to then tell me I can't put this up because you don't like what I'm saying. And believe me, companies do that.
And,
Oh yeah, they do. That is one thing I'll give iArcade. That's one thing I'll give iArcade credit for is that they did list, like when P-Dubs got his cabinet suit, like, and he did his video, he was like, "Oh, this cable here sucks," and then they listened to him and they switched it around.
Yep.
Like stuff like that matters.
Actually, my video was posted first, and I said that first. So don't
Was
give
it you
P-Dubs
that I
credit for what
watched
said
your
first.
video? No,
I was the
shoot.
first one,
I
and
think
I
I
told
watched
them
your
about the
video.
cable, and he's not stealing my thunder. That was my thing.
Was
Thank
it?
you.
I think I watched
Yes.
your video then.
My video was
I'm
up 2
sorry.
days before his was. 2.
well,
See?
you know what I think is funny, and I
Don't
know this.
listen to Dan.
No, you're all right. This is a rabbit hole. I have
I
been
think
bringing
he's
up,
right. I think I watched his video, and that's where I learned that from.
Glenn. You can
I
even
knew I
take.
learned
Don't,
You can
don't-
even say this.
don't
Back
feed
when
his ego. It's big enough.
after the
It
first
is.
after
Wait, I get my head bigger. Hold on. Let's.
No, please don't do that. You're going to scare people. We're trying to attract people. Hey, when the first wave of Arcade 1-Ups came out, I mentioned to John D when he was coming on our show, like all the time, I said to him, you really need to get an HDMI port in there so that way we can capture these. People can use them for tournaments. They can use them for game competitions, whatever they want. They can capture it, kind of like what the iArcade people do. John's like, oh, we're not putting an HDMI in there. He says, that costs too much money. Now I think it's funny that the quote-unquote, we're going to call them Illuminati because that's what everybody understands. They say, you know, John, it would be really cool if we could get HDMI on these PCBs. And I sit there going, duh, I only said it 4 years ago. Like, and John's like, yeah, we're looking into how we can put HDMI on the board. And I'm sitting there going,
Hey,
am I in the
guys,
am I in the wrong room or something?
She
or
lines
what?
she lines in the chat. We got to behave.
Oh.
Oh,
So, like we were saying, we really can't do this show without Jayde. It's
not the same.
it's just not the same. Fellas, wouldn't you agree? This is not. Bill, what do you think?
No.
It's just,
no, missing her completely.
yeah, we
She's just the show's just not the same without her.
it's just not the same. You know,
Nope.
Sorry,
no,
We're going to pay for
I'm-
that later.
I'm just a bumbling fool.
nothing against Dan. No, it's nothing against But this pre-order thing, like I've seen it even with what's the name of the companies that you can go not offer up, where you can do the people come up with the new projects and the products that you can
Kickstarter?
Kickstarter. Thank you.
That was like
Indiegogo?
a triple jinx.
Kickstarter's another one.
Caused the
True.
temporal parasocks. Sorry.
Like you
That's
pay
fine.
this money, right, for this product, and then it's pre-ordered, right? And this new arcade fad, and then all of a sudden they go, "Oh, we're sorry. You know what? We just didn't make it. Oh, but we're keeping your money.
Well,
you might get a
see, that's
refund."
The thing. That is the thing. I mean, I did mine for my Star Wars joke. We hit our thing, and the Star Wars joke came out, and the rest is history. But if we didn't make our goal, we were very clear to let you know that money was coming back to you. People will keep that money or scum. If you don't make
Oh
that
yeah, I'm
goal,
not saying all the
don't
people
take
do
that
it.
Money.
Yeah.
So she's calling us shills, and then she said, "I gotta go, fellas. Go enjoy.
It's
yeah.
a little cold
Uh-huh.
in here. I am a little chilly.
Listen,
Tell Adam Driver we said hi.
go enjoy your daughter's birthday. Don't worry about the show. The show will be here next time when you come.
Maybe.
Yeah, unless Glenn gets us banned from the internet. Here, Keo Dyken says plugging in a capture card to a SBC like a Pi cause a performance. Yeah, it does. It will.
Mm-hmm.
But there's ways of doing it. Like you can take the micro USB to HDMI on there. It's already using for Ethernet. You could do something like that, and it's not going to take
Hey,
a.
wait a second.
for retro
Is he
games.
saying if you take HDMI out and you go into an HDMI splitter, you get a performance hit? How is that possible? It's displaying.
I think it's just going to overheat the board a little bit but it shouldn't do it if you're splitting it
I
because
It
was
should-
gonna say I agree with Glenn. Like that doesn't if it's past
because it's digital.
the point of the signal going out, you
Yep.
can do
Yeah.
whatever the heck you want with it then.
Yeah.
Because the signal's
think so,
already
yeah.
gone.
But he's talking about
Like on an SDI
plugging in a
signal.
capture card like through USB. That's not what
I
I'm
guess
talking
it could
about.
lose power because you do have to have energy to push the signal.
He's
So
talking about
maybe it's like when you have a cable that's too long of a distance.
yes.
Like if I have Ethernet that's awesome, but yeah, my cable's 1 million
I'll have to
yards
talk
long.
to him.
I'm talking about just taking an HDMI cable and coming out just like the iArcade does
Right.
into a capture card that's connected to a computer, not to
Right.
a
Yeah, but
not to a
you
Pi.
shouldn't get a performance hit on the SBC or the computer.
No, not with
Have to.
HDMI
No.
out. You shouldn't. Not for retro games. I mean, if you were doing something like Dreamcast or something, maybe, but you're like Dan said. Like I split HDMI 30 ways to Sunday here inside the studio with 1080 and 4K. So it doesn't take a take
once
a hit.
the signal's out, you can do whatever you want with it. After the signal is leaved its point of creation,
That's what I told the officer. Once it's out, man, it's not proof
that
of
that
anything.
will work. That works. Just keep pleading that case. But no, but who knows? Maybe like they're talking about Pi. Maybe those boards are just poop.
Yeah.
The sense that like they can only do X amount of power. That signal can only travel this far before it goes. Bleh.
Well, that I could see. I can see. Once you go over a certain length on the HDMI,
Yeah.
30
there are
feet.
issues. There are issues. I mean, with composite, you had the same problem. You go X amount and you start getting signal degradation.
And I'm basing it off of like them using a crappy board, not like so much because of the length of the cable. Because I think HDMI like 2.1 is like some crazy amount of gigabits per second. I don't even know what it is right now. I think it's up. I know that the new USB-C I just saw goes up to 80 gigabits per second now.
And it's crazy. Those tiny little wires too.
Yeah, they were able to figure out a way to double the zeros and double the ones and do a 0-1 and a 1-0 that essentially gave them twice the amount of data through a USB-C.
Okay, so this I could understand what he's saying is, and this could be true because of the graphics that are on board of a Pi. Is he said it happened to me during my review. It causes issues with frame rate and a delay. Check out my 1080p Raspberry Pi video. So that's different than the capture card scenario. You're bringing it out from the HDMI. So that means the onboard video might not be able to handle it. I haven't tried that on a Pi. In fact, my Pi's not even here. I have it in my modded 1UP cabinet that's at the church. So
So is the Pi that computer he's using?
Yeah, the little computer. Yeah.
To capture it from?
So I'd be curious as to what capture card he's using.
We're going to have to watch his video.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah.
Link that thing to come into my one. I don't know how to
put it in the chat room, Keo. You shouldn't get banned.
Telepathy.
Yeah, telepathy. Goofyfoot's in the chat. He says, Glenn, Endless, Wild Bill, Tech Buzz. What's going on, Goofyfoot? How's it going?
Hey, Goofy.
Hey,
Thanks for
Goofyfoot.
showing up here. We're talking about pre-order, and is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Because
Is it pre-order or post-disappointment?
that's
Which is it?
Can I give you one final thought on my pre-order debacles?
you don't have to give a final thought, but
Well, well, if I change my mind, then you can call me crazy because
I thought we were
it's the
calling you.
old
Wait, I
saying-
thought we were calling you Endless 1UP.
Well, that too. But it's the old saying that you keep trying to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. That makes you crazy. So I've already pre-ordered things, and it keeps failing. I don't get it on time. It's not, I get it, and then it's poopy, like Tron behind me. But I like Tron still, and it's fixed now, and it works. But so don't think
It's a beautiful cabinet for sure.
Yeah, I like
I
the
go
like the
over
cabinet.
there, and I'm like, I love you, purple lights, as Council Fanboy says. No, I that game. It's just
It's a very beautiful
It
nightlight.
reminds me of when I was a little boy and didn't think too highly of girls. Before life happened, when you were still innocent. I miss those.
How old
days.
are you?
I'm 43. I just look young.
Oh, he is a
I have
baby.
adult children. I am a baby. Look at these cheeks.
He's the same age as me, Glenn. You're still the old one. Get over
You look
it.
old though.
Hmm.
You look
I
old.
look
He
old.
looks
Oh,
good.
this
Yeah, he
is
looks-
this is good. That's the first I've ever heard of that. I get carded every time I go out just to buy
Bill, you
super
tell
glue.
us. I wonder, how do you feel, Bill, about pre-orders?
Honestly, I don't do it very often.
He's
I'm
smart.
kind of with you guys. I really don't. Even back in the day with, video games and whatever, it was very, very rare that I felt the need to pre-order something. I just felt like it'll be in the store. I'll buy it when I want it.
And has that always been true for you, do you feel?
For the most part, yes. I think
Cool.
it's been
'Cause
very rare that I haven't
agree
been
with
able
that.
to get something.
I did pre-order the MVC2 only because I missed out on the first one, and you can't really, it pops up every now and then, and I think it's almost a marketing play, if I'm being honest. So I kind of wanted to like delete my order sometimes, but I'm holding on to it for now.
Well, let me ask you guys something. Do you think, because now John D hasn't come out, Arcade 1-Up hasn't come out and said this, I don't ever remember seeing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, or Marvel vs. Capcom 1, excuse me, at Walmart, but I know Sam's Club had it and some of the other stores. Do you think it's something that if people don't pre-order, they are going to miss out? Because I'm not of that belief. I believe we're going to see it. We're going to see it at like a $2.99 at some point or a $3.99, just like Blitz.
But there is that tiny possibility that we're all wrong, and you do. But I mean, look at Simpsons. I mean, that was a cabinet people went nuts for. It disappeared for a while.
They can't give them away.
Then it came back, and now it's like $200.
Yep.
Yeah.
So people are getting it for less. So they're always gonna have stuff in their warehouse. They start clearing out for the next, clearing out for the next, or not necessarily clearing up for the next, but maybe they add I don't know, a leaded marquee a little bit differently, or they change graphic art and resell the same thing all over again. And I know that's happened in the past. They had a lot of machines left over in a warehouse, and they just reskinned those suckers and back out the door they went.
But doesn't there come a time, because I kind of agree with Dan on this, that there was a little bit of marketing around this, because it almost looked like, and I called this, Jayde can tell you, I said this from day one, I said they purposely held back pre-orders so that they could come out and be like, look guys, there's more pre-orders, you can get them now, like kind of look like the heroes because you missed out the first time. And I think it was along those lines. Rexer and I were talking, and he had some interesting points where he was saying that this was a way that John D and Arcade 1-Up could show these other companies that there is a demand for these cabinets, because maybe, just maybe, they're on the fence about re-signing with Arcade 1-Up because...
I think that's superficial. That would be like me wanting to marry somebody because they looked pretty. Like, over time, you would learn more about them, and all I have to do is look at the actual purchase records. Like, how many cabs did you produce? How many did you sell?
But if you're selling them,
you like made this magic pre-order in the beginning. That shit's gone.
But Dan, if
We're
you're
way past that
but Dan, if you're saying that we can sell these at regular price, which is $5.99, and you're not keeping them to mark them down, that could be because look at it. That's how people are buying these cabinets now.
That? How many times can you cry wolf?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You mean?
Yeah.
Bill, you're taking it all in, man. What do you think of that?
Hey, Bill has been very quiet. He's listening to
no,
he's taking so little.
He's taking it in.
I'm processing it. I gotta wonder. We got a holiday season coming up. Christmas is coming. Black Friday's coming. What's the big thing from Arcade 1-Up? I mean, I think maybe they're holding this back, expecting a big, maybe to sell a huge amount of them for the holiday season. I mean, what else are they going to put out at that time?
Yeah, because we know we're not getting Time Crisis till next year. That's not happening this year.
I don't think so. No,
it's not happening this year. People that say it is, I don't believe it. It's too close.
And I'm going to be honest, personally, I'm very skeptical about a either re-release or a new version of Star Wars right now. I think it's gonna
full size.
I think it's gonna happen. I just don't think it's happening right now yet.
I would agree with that.
I don't think there's been enough real evidence.
I mean, Glenn,
really, what there been just that one Hippo post, right? Shop Hippo.
Yeah.
They came up and came right back down, and it wasn't even much of. I mean, it was the one picture was the dimensions of it.
Right.
I mean,
sorry. I don't doubt.
Sorry to everybody who's made $1 million.
No, I think it's coming. I think an XL Star Wars is coming probably next year.
I agree.
But Glenn, I know you're not buying all these 1-Up cabinets right now, but Star Wars XL, make it a bigger Star Wars. Could you break your drought of getting cabinets to buy this cabinet?
No, I'll never purchase another Arcade 1-Up item ever again. However, my Star Wars yoke will look even better in that cabinet.
It wouldn't even tempt you with the XL?
No, I only deal with companies that are honest. So I won't purchase anything from Arcade 1-Up.
Okay, well, fair enough. I just figured because it was Star Wars.
You should have known that answer was coming.
Yeah, I know. I should have seen that one coming. I just figured there was a little bit of humanity left in.
No.
in
However, for people who want that cabinet, I'd be happy to bring it out for other people. I think that's a beautiful cabinet. Like if they did a Tron full size as well, I would hate myself for not getting it, but I won't. But if they did that in XL, it's a beautiful cabinet. The Star Wars cabinet's beautiful.
Mhm.
The Tron cabinet, the Tempest, like the one behind Bill, that Tempest cabinet, the Centipede cabinet they're coming out with, the new one. They're beautiful looking cabinets. So I think in an XL size, it'd be great. But there's one thing I think people kind of forget too. Like for me, I'm a pretty strong, muscular guy, as we all know. Those cabinets' weight is just about my limit for me carrying in the house because no one's helping
we
me
all
carry-
know that.
Exactly. Carrying them in.
Yeah,
when you get in
this
these
is more your
larger
speed,
cabinets, it is. But when you get these XL cabinets, it's more space, which means after so many of them, you have even less room for more cabinets. The wives potentially will have more of an issue with having the full size cabinets over the smaller ones.
I
Potentially.
agree.
So I mean, it's in our minds we want the real thing. We do. But I tell you, like I got my Zaxxon. Thing weighs 325 pounds. I'm sure the XL is not going to weigh that kind of weight. But you don't realize that they take up more space. They're going to be heavier, harder to get into place, harder to move around if you want to shift them around. So I know it's a different person's aspect. I guess.
Yeah.
But I would like to see like Star Wars and Centipede in those full cabinets. Because I think they'll look really nice. But as for me, I will never purchase an Arcade One product again.
So Mike in the chat room real quick, before we get to one of the segments, he said, last year Walmart lied to everyone who pre-ordered Simpsons, saying 1UP had changed the release date from November to January. Meanwhile, the cabinets were already in the stores. All I'm going to say to that, because again, I'm not going to steal Keo Daikin's thunder, go subscribe to his channel for some of the stuff that he was telling me about some of the stuff he found out. You're not going to want to miss that video because it's going to explain things like that in that video. So without further ado, let's get to this week's Make or Break.
Make or break.
Today's Make or Break. There's so many consoles, there's so many games that you could talk about that potentially could have made or broke a company and a system. But I have a question. We all know about the Tower of Power. We've got the 32X, the Sega Genesis, the Sega CD. But my question is, when the 32X came out, did it make or break the Sega Genesis?
Machine has appeared in homes across America.
Double and redouble his power. 32.
6 times more powerful than 3DO.
Alright, baby.
40 times more than Super NES.
Hey, yo, there is no 32-bit Super NES. Are we gonna see the games or what? Show me!
Increase the power of your 40 times.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We had a lot of conversation here during the break. Glenn he's like, it's a 32X, isn't it? I'm like, yep. All right, Glenn. Make or break.
Sure that guy was in the same place where they shot Saw, though.
I thought that was for the Blair Witch Project, actually.
I was getting scared. I was like, why are we in this basement with these scary lights?
You know what? This is another one that's
Edgy.
really, really hard. Did the 32X make or break it? Here's the thing. The problem was, in that generation, you had the 60-bit consoles, you had 32-bit actually come around the corner, the Saturn, the PlayStation, and so forth. When you have a company, the North American part and the Japanese part, bashing heads over something, that's your first problem, not the product, all right? But then you had the Saturn being released literally right around the corner. So you releasing this add-on, and then having the Sega Saturn coming out. Now, if you actually took, like the Jaguar before it, if you actually take a look at the games that people rip into pieces about it, they actually were pretty good. It actually did make the Genesis better. It did. But man, it was just a mess behind that machine with video cables and extra power cables and cables to make the video connect to one another. It was a little metal tongs you had to put in there so it was a mess.
Cammy wants to know, Glenn, you can answer this before we move on here. More powerful than the 3DO? How did they calculate that?
It wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. But again, it's marketing. And, they're going to say that. But ultimately, the 32X itself didn't break the system.
Stephen M.
Actually, no.
disagrees.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to change that. We're talking about breaking the Genesis, right? It's tough. I still say it. I guess it did, but it was really the Saturn being really so close to the product. If the Saturn was pushed back another year or two, I think 32X might have done better. Because they rushed product out too. Some of the games like Doom, I don't know if you've seen it. There's a fan remake of 32X Doom, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it will literally blow you away how good that 32X version of Doom is, the fan make. But the one that was released was rushed. So I guess I have to say that I guess I'm going to say it did, but I think it was more because of Saturn and 32X being released and the company just not getting behind it. Really did it more than the component stuff. It was pretty powerful.
All right, Wild Bill, make or break. Give it to us.
Yeah, this is with Glenn on this. This is kind of tough. I do agree. I think it coming out and then the Saturn coming out so soon after. Really, they didn't give it a chance. That's for sure. But I also felt like, especially around this time, everybody was so concerned with numbers.
Yep.
You had your 8-bit systems followed by your 16-bit. Then, they come out with this 32X. It's like, oh, look, we're, twice as powerful as 16-bit. No, you're not really. I mean, yes, it added some graphical power. It added some, memory power. But
hardware
it wasn't
scaling, zoom.
Yeah, but it wasn't twice as powerful. They just it was all
Jack
marketing.
Will was 10 times more powerful than Jack.
It was all just at that point. It was all just marketing.
Yeah,
and all. And I think I don't know if people were starting to catch on or what, but just having this stuff that you had to like plug, like you said, that tower, just plugging one thing on top of another on top of it. It got ridiculous after a while. All these extra things you had to buy. I think people.
Yep.
I think people are more likely to go out and buy a brand new system than they are to buy something to make their current one supposedly better.
If they actually came out with the Neptune, which was a 32X Genesis, I would have done better.
Nah,
I agree with him on that.
They had the Saturn. Dan, what do you think? Make or break?
Well, I think it's definitely break, but not for the same exact reasons. I think there's some history and technology that happened there. Like CDs, image discs were such a big thing at that generation that people were thinking, oh, that technology is better. And they kind of were thinking cartridges were obsolete. And just like to Bill's point, I think it was confusing for parents. They're like, what, so I have to buy a Sega and then I buy this thing? And then what's this CD thing? Like, no, they just want to buy the device that does the thing. The marketing got too confusing, I think, in the long run. And it was only for people to kind of like continue their Sega use. But at that point, like everybody pointed out, the Saturn was coming out. Like I was, I graduated in 97, 98. So I was old enough to probably be more paying attention to maybe girls at that point for myself than I was playing video games. And I still loved video games though. Like I think
but you were spending your money on the girls like most of us, and
well,
not the
I was
video
probably
games.
spending my money on Tron
at the arcade. Yeah. I'm a big Sega fan, but I'm also I like the other. But Sega holds a special place in my heart because even with the Dreamcast, I just feel like even now owning it, I never owned it as a kid. I feel now owning it, I feel like it's slow, it's sluggish. Like I'd rather play the Sega CD. Saturn is like, to this day, I could still sit down and enjoy the Saturn like it was a brand new console, like it was there. Not quite as good as the Dreamcast, but it was there. And Glenn, would you agree? Like it's just the 32X was just a slight upgrade from the Sega Genesis. Like
absolutely was. I mean, it still had an interface with the Sega as well for some memory, and the other graphics processor was used for backgrounds. Absolutely true. But the point of that was that Sega Genesis at the time wasn't the number one console, and they were trying to hold on to that, right? They took on the NES, beat it. The Super Nintendo was kind of catching up. They came out to Sega CD, really powerful hardware in there. They didn't take advantage of it. They made full motion video games. They had hardware scaling, a second 68,000 processor, 12 megahertz, more memory, but never used it. 32X was kind of the same thing. It was rushed for sure, It was two of the same processors that we're using in the Saturn, and they were making like a stopgap. But the Saturn was right around the corner, so it was just a product that really didn't have a need. Really, it didn't. But they released it anyway, and it failed.
Guys, somebody's trying to break in here. I don't. Hang on a second.
Hey, what's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing you a special segment that's highly requested called Let's Talk Shit on Glen's most beloved console. Okay, so here we are up in my game room. I'm gonna see what kind of trash panda consoles we can dig up. Well, it looks like you've got plenty to choose from, and oh, there's the first one. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, here's another good one. Oh, and Three's Company. Well, now I'm gonna try each one of these out and see why Glen thinks they're so cool, since we all know they're steaming pieces of garbage. Ooh, look, it's the Atari Jaguar. Do the math. Ooh, I'm 64-bit. Hey, no you're not. You're a liar. He's not really 64-bit. Okay, let's see. Well, we got a game drive there, but I mean, what kind of games does Jaguar even have? Checkered Flag, okay. Cannon Fodder, alright. Zool 2, isn't that a Super Nintendo game? Iron Soldier, ooh, 3D. Tempest 2000, oh, it's just like that 80s arcade game, right? Cybermorph, Doom, oh, Doom. Xenon 2. Okay guys, well now that we've looked at our really shitty selection of games, let's go ahead and see what this thing is all about. Okay guys, as a collector, I feel like it's my duty just to play this and, you know, make fun of it, because Glen likes toilet bowl shaped consoles. So anyways, let's get started. Oh, look at me, I'm a toilet bowl that plays video games. Oh, I'm 64-bit. Oh, interactive. Oh, dude, the music is just so killer. Okay, this game was not a good example. Okay, guys, obviously this game was just a bad example because it's probably the only good game on Jaguar, so we're just gonna check out another game. Okay, here's another one. Ooh, Iron Soldier. I mean, it doesn't look that good. It's just 2D art. I mean, it's pretty detailed, but probably more detailed than Super Nintendo. Ooh, London Bridge. London Bridge is falling down, falling down. Oh, smash. Not today. Boom. You know what? Maybe this isn't such a bad system after.
So apparently, I don't know how she got access to the program tonight, but even though Jayde's not here, Glen, what do you have to say about all that? She really went after you on that.
She did, and you know what? I think she was surprised, wasn't she? She had to end the broadcast because the Jaguar is not as bad as people say.
I don't know.
I got to say something else. That was funny. I'm sorry. She did a fantastic job. That was awesome.
Guys, if you like these kind of segments, let us know in the chat room. Give us a thumbs up, give us a 1, whatever. I don't know what you guys do with this. Somebody get Glen some oxygen.
I'm giving you a 1. That was awesome.
Bill had a home run last week, and then we had a home run here from Shelion. She'll be back with us next week.
Up 2 runs.
Well, notice who the butt of all the jokes end up being.
That's true.
I don't think that's the case in either one.
I think last week's did kind of hit home for you a little bit.
It did. But But the segment was let's poop on Glen's consoles, and she was pleasantly surprised. So poops on you.
We'll see. We'll see what next week. Yeah, we'll see what next week brings. Well, I know Dan, you're on for what's on deck. Give us a little preface, and I'll roll it.
Well, this game cracks me up so much. I look kind of potato-y right now. I hope it's okay for everybody. This is how I really look. I really look like a potato normally. Sorry, everybody. My camera's just really crisp right now. But no. So this is going to be Broforce. This game's great. And if you don't have a Steam Deck and you want one, go subscribe to my channel because I'm giving away one when I reach 1,000 subscribers. And we're like at 805 or something right now, which is awesome. What's going on, everybody? You're watching Game Time, but let's take a 5-second break to find out what's on deck. What is on deck? Broforce. I've been playing the crap out of this game. This game is super duper ridiculous. Like, let's just stop for a second.
Stop it. Get some help.
Take all of the fun action superheroes from the 80s and the 90s, and who am I talking about? I'm talking about everybody from, like, Arnold in The Predator to John McClane in Die Hard.
Ghost, we get together, have a few laughs.
They're all in this. They're all in this game, and you get to be them all. Freaking Mr. T is in here.
What you doing, sucker?
There's so many freaking awesome characters in here. Sylvester Stallone. Adrian. That was the worst. Sylvester. I'm gonna just stop talking.
Stop it.
But yeah, I've been playing the crap out of Broforce. I'm looking for a couple friends to get together and play it. I got my one buddy, Brady Goat. He wants to play, but we're going to need 2 more people. I want to get a full session going. I think it'll be a hoot. So yeah, check out this game and get back to game time. Peace.
So as always, Dan, great job on what's on deck. I always get to preview these before we go live. So I know you're not on here all the time, but I really appreciate you taking the time every week to give us that, and I know the community really appreciates it.
Well,
they're good. It's quality,
man. I appreciate it.
So if you guys aren't subscribed, get yourself a Steam Deck, so that way you can get a chance to win a Steam Deck.
Yep.
Get over there and subscribe to Dan's channel. Bill, what is on for iArcade?
iArcade. News and notes.
All right, so I know we didn't really touch on this last week, but iArcade has released a couple of new games recently. First being Galacticon, which I think is one of the best games that they have on their system. I am loving that game. It is just so much fun. I know people have kind of described it as a cross between Joust and Defender, and it's like a perfect analogy for what this game is. It really does have that feeling like it could have been an old school arcade game in the 80s. So if you have not checked that game out and you go and own an arcade, that's definitely one to check out. The other one is this, what is it called? Super Perils of Baking, I think it's called, which looks like kind of a fun Mario clone. Didn't really appeal to me personally, to be honest, but I know a lot of people who have tried it have said it's a lot of fun. And like I said, if you like the Super Mario Brothers platformer kind of games, it might be worth checking out.
It's on your background
right now.
It's
playing on my background right now, exactly. But yeah, I just figured we'd touch real quick on the couple of games that got released recently for iArcade.
Awesome.
I'm going to pick up Galacticon this weekend. I haven't had a chance yet, but I'm definitely picking it up this weekend.
You will love it. That is a fun game.
Can I be honest about that game? I saw it and I was like, why hasn't this existed before this? It just seems such a good combo of stuff. You know, it just seems like such a cool game that I'm like, well, why hasn't this been done before? It's cool. That's really neat. I like that game.
So Steven in the chat room, he says, why don't you guys show some gameplay? Well, for the arcade games, any of the game videos that they have is usually an over-the-shoulder shot of Jong recording. You see his hands and or whoever playing the game, and that's not really a good way of doing it. Right now, my iArcade is not hooked up to a capture card. I have it all disconnected because I'll be honest, I don't play it as often as probably most people. There's certain games that I play all the time on it, like usually Saturday night. But maybe in the future we can get maybe Bill to do some gameplay on iArcade or Glenn.
Well, now if you check out my review of the Gold Cab, you'll see some gameplay that was captured with a capture card.
There you go.
Just saying.
So we can actually do it. I was trying to find stuff on YouTube to pull up.
Watching your stuff, Bill. That's basically what it's
No. I do it at night. I do it at night and I watch it.
He was feeding in a plug to me. That's what it really was.
Come on now. This isn't my first rodeo for hosting here. But no, for some of these things, yeah, we want to incorporate some of that too. Not enough hours in a day, unfortunately. We put a lot of time into these segments that we've been doing and the make or breaks and some of these other ones that we're doing. So hopefully maybe in the future we'll get some more of the gameplay footage. I was trying to find stuff on YouTube, but again, just like the one I just showed, it was like an over-the-shoulder camera shot, and it's like, you can't really get a good.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So Goofyfoot saying that you called him out, Bill, tonight on the Arcadians. What did you do?
I may have happened to mention that I was higher on the leaderboard in that game than he was. That's all.
You're calling out Goofyfoot. You are going. He's going to sit there and he is going to.
I hope he does. We can chase each other on the leaderboard. I will say
it's fun.
That is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun seeing people that, and I was watching the Arcadians before our show, and they were talking about this, and I agree that it is a lot of fun seeing people that you know in the community on the leaderboards and seeing where you place in reference to them, and it does make you want to play more and try to beat them and get above them. That's for sure.
And I think I still have the title in Asteroids on the at games.
Nah, people blew by that like a year and a half ago. Yeah, that's long gone. You reveled in it for like a week or two, but it's long gone. So you guys, it's a lot to put on some of these shows and do the things that we do, and not just us, but other people. In fact, I didn't even know if we were going to have a show tonight after I did all this because I had an incident where I was telling the guys here, this is my production monitor that shows me everything. That's the one that died literally right before the show. So I fortunately had an extra one that I could throw in here to do the show because I couldn't see the interface of what I needed to do to bring in video. So sometimes things like that come up where you don't have the time to do other things that you want to do for the show, and you just got to kind of suck it up and get what you can and get what you can out. Yeah.
Yeah, if I had more time, I would have made a little animation where I looked like Jayden.
Yeah,
if I had more time,
that would have been funny. And I know Glenn.
Oh, by the way, real quick, just to jump because we were talking about iArcade.
Yeah.
And with the iArcadians again, just seriously, a huge shout out also to Goofyfoot because they had some quick video and picture of his iArcade setup. He modded his control panel to have one of Glenn's 4- and 8-way switchers in it.
There you go, Goofy.
And he put the button. If you've seen the Space Invaders, there's like right in the middle. There's a spot that looks like it should be a button or a trackball, and there isn't one. It's just graphics. He put the button right there, and it's a perfect spot for it, and it looked
awesome.
Awesome. So Goofy, just again, awesome job on that. It looked fantastic, and Glenn, you'd be so proud. He put your 4- and 8-way gate switcher in there, and it looks great.
I am, and when I first got my first prototype ones, I put it in the Legends Ultimate. That same thing, I found one spot and I drilled a hole carefully and put it in. So I'm happy he's enjoying it, and if he's getting higher scores, even better.
maybe he can beat me in Galacticon since he did that.
Ooh,
those are fighting words. It's a good thing that they have these competitions that you can get in on. But if you want to know all about iArcade, well, mostly they focus a lot on iArcade. It's the iArcadians. You guys can check them out on YouTube. You got Brad, Papa Brad.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Big Bad Brad. That's one of my friends. That's his username, Big Bad Brad. So I have 2 Brads, believe it or not, that are friends. So you guys could check that out as well. They do it every other week. So actually, that whole crew is probably live right now doing their show while we're doing. Yeah, there's shows all over the place. So there was some news this week, fellas. If we want to kind of get into that, thanks to Bill. Bill got this all sent out. Let me see if I can't pull some of this up because I know this is one of Glen's favorite games. That
Barbie?
is, well, no. So,
Dreamhouse?
Exactly.
No, this is one of his. No, Dreamhouse, really? This is one.
Dreamhouse is awesome.
What Barbie game do you like?
This was Smurfs. That's what he likes. Anyways.
Oh, the ColecoVision Smurfs.
So, Bill sent this over here. One of the leakers put out GTA 6. Not like the first time we haven't seen these. But I know, Glenn, you are going. This is one game I believe you are going to pre-order. You love the Grand Theft Auto series, right?
I think no, never played any of them. It's like Zelda.
So, Glenn, tell us about this. What do you think of these leaks? Do you think that we're going to get finally going to get Grand Theft Auto 6? It's been leaked all over the internet.
Where are the Smurfs?
There's.
I don't think this is real. I think this was all planned.
No, we've been seeing this for what, a year and a half, almost 2 years now.
Well, yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing.
5 came out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of the content that was leaked was very early stuff from the games, probably from a couple of years ago. So.
What do you think? Do you think
we'll
this is do you think that we are going to get it? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say we're not. This isn't legit.
Well, well, these current leaks I think are probably semi legit, but I think it was done by Rockstar.
but I'm saying, like, I think they're doing this swerve. I don't think we're going to see it this year.
Oh no.
I think this is going to be like first or second quarter next year. Maybe. I mean, I'm being generous here.
Yeah. I mean, they came out and made a statement that these leaks are not affecting their development. So
of course it's not.
We'll see what all that means. But
it's creating a lot of publicity, right?
Of course it is. Absolutely it is. Just like any leak usually does. And most of the time they're from some insider. So
Bill,
not a big surprise.
Bill, are you going to pre-order it?
Am I going to pre-order? No. No.
Dan, are you going to pre-order
it? I think GTA 5 was out for like 10 years before I bought it the first time.
So you are going to
pre-order. How long's that game been out?
So you are going to pre-order it then?
A long time.
GTA 5 has been out a long time, and I only just got it recently.
Glenn, are you going to pre-order?
I'm in the same boat as you. I just got it recently.
I haven't even played the first one on the on the PlayStation 1.
The top-down one?
The top-down one. I didn't even play that one, no.
Those are actually a lot of fun.
I was wondering what you were doing over there. He's researching. He's like, "Ooh, GTA. Oh, there was a top-down version on PlayStation."
You can go, wait. I can get Glenn to pre-order it right now. Glenn, you go to strip clubs in it.
Leisure Suit Larry, I've already got it.
Oh my!
Make sure you get the condom, boys, or you're gonna die. I'm telling you.
That's hilarious.
That's canon.
All right, the next big announcement. What do we got here, Bill? Suikoden, right?
Suikoden.
I personally,
I always, for some reason, I always thought it was pronounced Suikoden, but
it might be. It might be. I'm not interested in it, but
yeah.
Oh, do tell us. It's Konami.
It is. See, now, here's the interesting thing. Before Tokyo Game Show, Konami was making a lot of buzz about a franchise they were going to bring back, and everybody was thinking, "Oh, it's going to be a new Castlevania, maybe a new Contra, something like that, maybe something Metal Gear related." And then they announced this, which I'm not downplaying at all. If you're an old school JRPG fan, Suikoden was one of those that was really big. It wasn't one that I was interested in. I always liked the Square Enix ones, Final Fantasy, that kind of stuff more. But it is interesting that they announced that they are going to do a remake of 1 and 2, and I think this has led to speculation that somewhere down the line there'll be a new one in the franchise as well.
It's interesting, but I'm not really. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I'm not sold on that game personally.
Yeah,
but
I think I might have played one of them on its original platform, which I'm not sure what that was. Like maybe
years ago.
A game, was it on a DS or something, or a PS Vita or PSP or something? I don't know. Like, I don't know what that game was on, a PlayStation 2, maybe. Does anybody know? I should Google.
May have been PS1 or PS2. Yeah,
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it's but I think that more of those types of games should exist because I love turn-based RPGs. I know it's not something everybody likes, but I like those more than the action-based RPGs where you're always just kind of like, if I want to play a hack and slash game, let me play a hack and slash game. I mean, which is fine. I like Diablo games and I like Gauntlet and stuff like that, but I do like the turn-based, and it seems like that's slowly disappearing. It feels like the manual transmission on cars disappearing.
Yeah, I actually agree with that a lot. Even the Final Fantasy VII remake looks gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
but they turned it into an action RPG.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's so good looking that you're like,
it is. No, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's an amazing looking game.
Yeah.
But I miss the old turn-based system. That's why I like some of these newer ones that have been coming out, like Octopath Traveler, things like that. I like the kind of return to that.
Loving that one, and I got that Live. Or I guess I don't know what it's called.
Live Alive or whatever it is. Yeah,
Live
that
Alive.
Looks pretty cool too.
That one's neat. I did the Western World one, and it was really fun. It almost feels like very short games, but like I guess it kind of reminds me of Mega Man, but you just don't get superpowers after you've beaten one of the things. But it's something like that. It's really interesting. It was fun. I really enjoyed the little bit of I played it.
Just want to give a shout out. Rhea's in the chat room.
Rhea. Yay, Rhea!
We appreciate you popping in here and giving us a shout out in here. That's pretty awesome.
Real quick, I just saw a little tidbit here from New Wave Toys that their missile commands are on the way to California. So if you did pre-order, there's that word, pre-order, missile commands from New Wave Toys, they're on the way to good old California.
Nice.
Be careful. You could do a World of Wars thing here and freak everybody out and thinks that there's missiles coming to California.
Can you play a game?
Get in your bunker.
So there's one other story here, and then we're probably gonna wrap things up here. New PS5 model with external disk drive reportedly in the works. So I'm trying to figure this out, like why they need to create a whole new PS5 when they have a digital only version. They could just make an external drive and just plug it into that. Like, am I missing something here on this?
Like I have thoughts. About
no, I think. Well, the only thing that they said, I think the only thing they said with this is adding another USB port to it to accommodate for that, so you're not losing one to an external drive. But in concept, I like the idea. I almost wish they'd have just done this in the first place. Just release a digital only model and then have an add-on for the drive. I mean, it just kind of makes sense. You know, if the drive goes bad, you just buy a new one instead of having to get it serviced or get a whole new system. But yeah, I don't know why they feel a need to, refresh with this one.
That's a good point. Maybe that's it. Maybe like the history that they've had, it's like, oh, everything that we have to repair always has to do with these disk drives. Let's make a separate SKU so they can do just like you said, Bill. I think that's a really good point you made, Bill. Because otherwise I'm like, why did they do this? Because usually like USB-based drives, CD drives,
they're slow.
That's just like parking storage. Yeah, like you can't use it to read from. You can only use it to move data from point A to point B usually. It's hard. Like maybe with the latest and greatest USB or a Thunderbolt port, it might be okay.
Well, let's talk about that for a second here.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know if they're using like a USB-C maybe for it.
Wait,
they use a USB-C connection, it might not be so bad.
You just said something here, and I can tell you because I have an external drive hooked up to USB-C, and I cannot play any of the games that I have stored on that USB-C drive on my PS5.
Oh.
And I have an actual PlayStation hard drive. Like they want you to only be able to play the games from either that internal M2 chip that you would add to it or off the built-in one. So how is this going to be fast enough to play over USB or Thunderbolt or even USB-C? Like in theory, Dan, I'm with you. Like and Bill, I'm with you. Like that would be awesome. But if you can't do it on a hard drive, which is like an SSD, which is a non-spinning disk that's faster than a CD or DVD drive, or Blu-ray for that matter, because that's what these games are. How are you going to expect to do a Blu-ray drive over USB-C, over Thunderbolt, or even USB on this?
Well,
I don't think you can. Also, go ahead.
No, the only thing I was thinking was, and maybe I'm wrong about this because I said I haven't had a chance to pick up a PS5 yet. They keep, they've been sold out for so long, and I haven't, felt the need to just upgrade my PS4 that bad to just keep watching for them. But for some reason, again, correct me if I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm under a wrong assumption. I thought that even with the disk drive, with the PS5 games, most of the content, you put the disc in, it winds up downloading to the internal drive anyway, and the disc is basically just there for, hey, this is the game you want to play and maybe a little bit extra.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Even with,
you're right. You're correct.
So even with the external, it's still going to load 90% of the game onto your hard drive anyway. So maybe that's
you have
okay.
A point. So maybe it could play like a predetermined, like a H.264 compression video file that's on the disc that you play between cutscenes. That maybe that's the only thing it's going to actually read, because it could do that pretty quickly, probably.
I don't know.
That's like a DVD player.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems odd that they would create a whole new PlayStation. Because let's say you're somebody like that's got the digital version, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you want the ability? So who cares? You can't use one of the USB ports. You put a hub on it, a powered hub. I have one on mine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Why would you want to go out and buy another PS5 when you could just plug it into your all digital one? Like obviously,
because one you put in a bag and you put on the shelf, and the other one you use. Obviously.
and Bill,
it makes sense.
Your logic there, as RB's saying in the chat room, with DRM, just to have it do a check to see that you own the game.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it. Then you wouldn't need as much bandwidth or much power for it. But I just think that's a lot of extra work for the guys that, like my son. He just likes his Xbox Series S. He likes to be able to go on and download whatever game he wants, delete the games, put them on an external drive. He don't want to mess around with discs or cartridges anymore. Yep. He's over.
Now, it is going to depend on pricing too, and how much that external drive is, because right now the difference between the one with the built-in drive and the digital only is what, about $100?
Yeah, so, it's $100. Yeah.
So if this one is basically the same price as the digital, and that drive is $100 or less, okay. I mean, I could see, maybe you want to buy, and again, if they sell it separately, maybe you buy the digital only, and then you could do the drive add-on later on.
Okay, but let's say hypothetically, because we know Sony's not going to make it cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You buy the PlayStation 5 is $599 with the disc drive.
Mm-hmm.
So you buy the non-disc one, the digital one, for $499.
Right.
And then you buy the upgrade. You buy the portable DVD player or Blu-ray drive, because that's what it would be. That you can plug into it for $99. So now you're right up to the price of the physical drive that's built into the system. So why wouldn't you just buy that one?
Yeah.
I have a theory that I don't know if this is true, but maybe they're changing the whole design of it. So this is going to actually, they're like, well, we're going to move 100% digitally in the future. But if you still want a CD and you still want to have physical discs, here's this attachment, which I still think is a poor idea. It's like the 32X thing. I think it's too much nonsense and it's stupid. What they should have done is the next PS5 should have just had 2 M2 drives already built into it, and then one slot that's available to add to it. So you could have a total of 3 M2 slots, and then it's all digital, 100%.
I would agree with that.
I think that'd be great.
Everyone has stuff in the cloud. Wait, here it goes.
Till they shut down that server, then you're SOL.
Well, I mean, and to be fair,
Yeah.
because I'm all for physical media too, okay, but with all these newer games, and I'm not talking about the retro games, but anything from the PlayStation 3 era on, all these games that you have in physical shape, if your console dies, a lot of those games need patches to download to even play the physical copy.
Yep.
You're dead in the water anyway. So even if you have a physical copy, you can't play. Because some of these games, let's use Cyberpunk as an example, because Jayde's not here and she can't yell at me. When that came out, it was not playable. It wasn't playable unless you had a Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5.
Right.
So now you had to download this huge update for it to be able to play it on your PS4 or Xbox One. So basically making that physical disc useless if, like he's saying, the server crashes. So
you have to pray in 10, 15 years down the road that someone, gets all the patches, puts it on an SD on a hacked, Xbox Series S that you can play it on down the road. Yep. They have done that. There's been games where people have, released it on a CD, with all the patches on it and stuff like that. But you're really stretching the hope that someone does that for your particular game you love that other people may not give a crap about and never patch it.
But I mean,
so well again.
Goofyfoot's right. If you can't touch it and hold it, you don't own it. No, he's 100% right. I'm not. Listen. I am all for physical media.
Yeah, me too.
Look at my video. My tour of my game room. I have the physical games. I buy even the new stuff. I buy the physical games. It's just that the realization is starting to hit it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just like a modem. How many times have you guys gotten upgraded modems and you can't even use the thing until it does a download and
firmware update?
A firmware update.
Right.
So it's just a physical box. My son, we just bought him a TV 2 months ago. It was a high-sense, cheap $300 4K TV. I don't know if maybe this is a correlation with the power going out yesterday. It killed my monitor. It did something to his operating system on his TV. But we could not get it out of recovery mode. I did updates. I did everything. It just acted like it wasn't taking it. So therefore, rendering the TV useless. Like you couldn't even get to the HDMI ports. It just sat there, and you could see it says recovery mode, and it says the serial number and everything like that. I got sick of it and went back to Walmart, bought a new one, put it back in the box because they were dragging me through hoops. Took it back to the store, let them send it back to them. But that's what I'm saying. Like even a TV, as stupid as that is, if you don't have the software, you can't watch TV on it. It's done.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
Yeah, those are great points. And I see the RB mentioned the comment about CDs, and I agree that CDs are not as cool as cartridges. Like cartridge media is just neat in general. Like, but one cool thing about CDs that people don't realize is that screen printed graphic on the disc, that's actually like art that only exists in that form. And if that gets scratched, the disc's trash. So like CDs actually have more of an intrinsic value because there won't be as many of them in the long run that will function. So like older style disc-based consoles, I think are going to be worth more in the long run because there'll be less media that's going to function on them. If you want the true media, if someone will hack it and you'll be able to put a hard drive to it and play everything at once.
But who's going to do that? Honestly, like, I mean, you're talking terabytes and terabytes of data that somebody. We just don't have the internet infrastructure in most places. Like I just literally upgraded my internet. That's why I was talking about the modem. I got it installed. I got gig network, so now I got 1,000 megs down, and I got they don't have 1,000 up yet. It's like 50.
No. 750.
No, it's only 50. That's Spectrum.
Really? Yeah, better than my 20.
It's only 50. So I upgraded today, and it saves me $2 a month. But my point is, I could do 4K right now if I wanted to stream it. But that doesn't mean everybody else has the ability to pull it down. So my point is, when you got a game like Call of Duty that's like 300 gigs plus patches, are you really going to take the time just to play Call of Duty when you could fire up the old Xbox just to get your Call of Duty,
super duper future, and like you have a hard drive and a vial of like liquid that's like the world's
right? I mean,
or something.
I'm just being honest here. Like
You just the other vial. I want to play some Atari Jaguar. I don't know.
I just think
I don't know what voice that was.
You know,
I'm sorry.
even in the video production world, right? The next big thing, like we have these boxes and computers here, and everything's going to the cloud. You're going to be switching video in the cloud. You're not going to be using all this nonsense. So, you know,
it's not a cloud. It's just someone else's computer.
Right, but you know what I'm saying.
Basically,
though.
yeah.
It's a server so they can get all your information.
Yeah.
Spin me up a VM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
you
is.
know,
Hey, hang on, I gotta get my. Where's my tinfoil hat? I forgot my.
Yeah, go
tinfoil
get it.
hat.
I do like the convenience of putting like my family photos up on the cloud or something, just so I have a backup.
Oh yeah.
Because if something ever happened to my house, or my computer got pooped on by something in nature, dinosaurs might exist again. You never know. I watch Jurassic Park every week. I'm just kidding. You can take it off me. I feel like I'm
you're
a little too silly.
No, you're good. I'm reading
You're good.
Wayne's comment here. Wayne Rice in the chat room says, I probably would pre-order from limited run because only so many are being made, and if you don't get it pre-order before the due date, you can't get it. And that's one company. I would agree, and I think Glenn would agree. Bill and Endless, I think we all agree. I even have a pre-order in right now for the Castle.
Right.
I have it for the Castlevania
I want
collection.
Retromania now.
Yes,
but see, that's
physical media.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before when we were talking about that. If you know they're limited on purpose,
right,
then pre-order absolutely makes sense. Because there are some companies who, for legitimate reasons, say we're only making 2,500 of these.
Yep.
Or we're only making 3,000 of these, and they're numbered and they're signed and their certificate and whatever. Yeah, you want to pre-order that because otherwise you're not getting it.
I think even like we were talking about pre-orders with Arcade 1-Up and some of the other companies, I think there's even people out there, believe it or not, that they're collecting these cabinets. I had a guy offer me $1,500 for my Final Fight cabinet. I love that game. I know Glenn's like, you should have taken it.
I would have, yeah.
No, I know.
A cabinet too, but
I like that
it was
cabinet.
dead day one, so didn't do me much good.
Well, my point is there's always going to be somebody out there that is going to collect the whatever it is that you can't buy anymore.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the someone had a post for the remember the iRarcades, those small.
Oh yeah.
Ones? Yeah. Someone had a complete set, and they were asking like $600-700 for it, and someone's like, "I'll pay it." I'm like, wow. I mean, those things are going for like $19 a piece.
What about what's the other one with Shiloh and them New Wave Toys, right?
Right. Well, those are quality built.
But they're also collector's items too, right? So if you have one that you can't get anymore, you might be, if you're a collector, what, $600-700 for one,
you
right?
You can, because everyone wants like the Centipede that's hard to find, and Tempest, the first two that they made. They're very hard to get hold of, and the people pay a lot of money for them now.
These guys, they're getting on me because of
call that guy back.
Call that guy back right now, and it could be puts like sold. No, listen. I play that game. I love that game.
Rexer will sell him his Final
Fight.
Rexer
has one. Yeah. Listen, I've seen people in the Facebook group. It's hilarious. Some guys are like selling they got 20 cabinets and they're selling them for $18,000.
Jeez.
I'm like, you're insane. Like, who's going to buy Arcade 1-Ups for $18,000 for a whole? But I will say this. I believe.
I used to love watching Pawn Stars, and there's something, there's the truth. There's what people are asking, and there's what people are actually getting. There's a big difference between those two numbers.
You're only going to get. Clinton, you're only going to get the value of what somebody else feels it's worth. But everybody always talks about Michael B, how he has every cabinet. I think I've beaten Michael B in the amount of cabinets I have. I think I'm at 24 total cabinets.
He just got 2 new ones.
I think he's at 20. No, you can't count the table. The table is not a cabinet. You can count
I'm talking about
he has 2 XLs. He just got.
He just got the Shaq XL and the Golden Tee.
But they
replaced.
replaced.
He was not getting the Shaq XL. He was not getting that one.
It was he got it from Arcade 1-Up. They gave him one for review.
But they replace the ones that he already had, the small jam. So so that doesn't count. But
okay.
So I think that's kind of funny. Well, hey, it's people are going to collect them. Whatever. It is what it is with that. So, but I'm with all you guys. I want physical media. I don't want digital more than anything. But it's like anything, right?
I mean, sometimes it's okay if you have cell phone, download an app on your cell phone. Okay, fine, great. You download the game there. But for your console, you spend $500-$600 for, and the games are not something you can retain, and the company literally could just take it away one day and say, or there was a good analogy even before. You may have the game and know the ins and outs and the mechanics, and then someday someone says, well, you know what, we want to change one of the characters. Like, I don't know. Just they could do that. They can literally just change the game on you.
You mean like Pac Bomb?
Exactly. Right. So they can just do things when you don't have the physical copy that they can't alter, and then you have the online ones. They can always make changes to an alter at their whim.
Yep.
And you have no choice.
Real quick.
Yeah, they do that to digital films and movies and.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. They do that
just
right
ask
now.
George Lucas.
I mean, look at Teenage
Don't get him
Mutant
started.
No, seriously. Look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Now, people complain about the sound. That was not arcade one's fault. He's going to get the license for the music.
Yeah.
But,
right.
that's something that's changed. Right. And people remember the other.
Or Pizza Hut. They had to take Pizza Hut
correct. Having Pizza Hut in there. That's part of the memory of playing the game. And now you're playing it, and you're looking for it, and it's not there, or the sound and music is off, or different.
Yeah.
Again, younger kids may not realize it because they never played it, but we do.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why you look at something like TurboGrafx. You look at Rexer just said demand and low availability drives prices up, and 1UP has both. Yeah. You look at TurboGrafx. You look at the Saturn. You look at the Jaguar. All these are very hard to find, in good shape, good working order because of the drives. And they're worth a lot of money because and they're still.
It's
good.
funny because the Jaguar was considered total trash. Now $1,000.
Yep.
Can I say something?
You never know.
Glenn? So I have a Jaguar, and I saw that it was going for like $900. I was like, I'm about to sell that.
No, hold on to it. Hold on to it.
No, so this is a great story. I worked at I was EB Games at the time, but GameStop bought that. And I worked there with a friend, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna smash this with a hammer." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Wait, can I have it?" And he was like, "All right, but wait, let me at least take it apart real quick. I want to look at it." So we took it apart, and there's a metal heat shield in there that looks like Jason's hockey mask.
Yep.
And he took that out of it and kept it for himself, and put it back together, and gave me the console with the games he had. He had 2 games: the Alien versus Predator, and then some weird space game that I don't even know what it is.
Trevor McFur and the Crescent Galaxy?
No, it was a short one-word name.
So what you're saying is that's how CT Jason was born.
Yes, he put Atari Jaguar on his face.
So okay, guys, this is an exclusive. You heard it first here. This is how CT Jason was born, and how he got the hockey mask was actually from the Jaguar. You heard it first from Endless 1UP when he worked at EB Games.
I can't sell it though, because I would feel bad. That
CT Jason gave it to you. I mean, come on now.
You don't have to worry about that, Dan. That shield was only for RF interference on regular old TVs. So let's just put it on it's all it was for. It was FCC. It didn't really do anything other than that. So modern TVs, it won't affect at all. Nope.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Jaguar. Of course it looks cool.
Oh, but so the game store wanted us to destroy all those old consoles.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Why he was going to smash them first.
Even the kiosks,
no.
they had everybody do that with the kiosks too. So
yeah,
Cybermorph is one that everybody always has.
Cybermorph. That's the game I have. Yes.
Okay, came with the console.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly?
That's how you know you're doing something right. You get the bots coming in here.
Every time I pick up the controller, I'm like, who am I supposed to call on this? Why is there a number pad?
Right?
No, that's always blew my mind. And I know that you're supposed to stick those little cards that were overlays that made those buttons mean things.
That's how
I never had that opportunity. I just was aware.
But you know what? They got that from Atari. I think they did that because Coleco did that with the ColecoVision.
Actually,
Television did it.
Television first,
then ColecoVision, and then Atari.
But they still did it. And then so the Jaguar was like, okay, we're going to take something from, at the time, the past, and incorporate it into something in the future, which at the time. And
it
then,
broke my brain.
I still think it was it was the Jaguar controller was a really good controller, and I still think that was.
It's comfortable for how big it is. It's very comfortable.
And you know what? If someone comes in your room, you can slap them with it.
Well, they still work.
The game.
I have 2 of them, and they're champs. I wasn't. Yeah. I did not take.
But you know what?
I'm like throwing them around.
The 3DO had the most unique way of connecting 2 controllers to it that I think of any console. And if you guys don't know what it is, we'll show it on a future episode here because I was amazed by it. How they
did 2 things. It did daisy chain, but also had headphone jacks on each one of the controllers as well.
Yep. So
okay. My Namco guns are like that in a sense. They have the yellow YC video signal, and then there's a little jack for the audio on it, which is weird, and you can daisy chain them. So, which I just bought a PlayStation 1 because my old one broke to play my Namco light guns. I'm super excited.
Clinton Clarion says the stream layout and graphics are fire, guys. Well, we really appreciate it. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Actually, we're going to have to wind this up. Glenn's probably got to get up for work tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, so I could go all night if I wanted to go. But we want to thank Mr. Dan, Endless One Up. If you haven't subscribed, go to youtube.com/endless1up. Get in this giveaway so you have a chance to win a Steam Deck.
Get him to 1,000.
Get him to 1,000.
Let's get there.
And
thank you,
we definitely
Glenn, and thank you, Bill, and thank you, Stephen, for having me on. I really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Shelion, for letting me take your spot just for one day.
If we ever did this in the future, we got to have Jayde on at the same time. We'd have 5. I don't know if we could handle that. That would be utter chaos. I don't think the audience could handle it. Oh no, we could. Technically, we could do it.
There might be just one too many sausages.
Hey, listen. She can control. She controls all of us. She knows she can handle all of us. So, make sure you guys go check them out. Really appreciate it. Get that subscription in. Also, want to thank Bill. You guys want to check him out? YouTube.com/Bill's Retro Gaming Show. And let's get his. Where are you at subscriber wise? 300-400.
Let's check 6. Yeah, feels like it's.
I'm being funny. Funny.
Coming up on 700.
Nice.
Awesome.
That was funny. It was funny. The other day I was at 666. I'm like, somebody please subscribe. I can't have this number, please.
I remember that day. I took a picture of that one. It's always good to keep those numbers.
Also, we want to thank Mr. Glen Planamento. And right before we go through all this, David Alexander says, you need to get an Atari 5200 expert on. What do you think this guy is? This guy's a human dictionary for any of the old consoles. Glenn, who made the Atari 5200?
Oh, it was Atari, but the thing is, the 5200 came out after the 8-bit computers, the Atari 4 and 800, but it was really designed first. They took the chipset from the 5200, computers were taken off, so they put the 5200 on hold and released a 4 and 800 computer line, and they used analog joysticks, which is, the one thing that really killed the 5200 was those analog sticks, unfortunately. But the graphic power went all the way up into the 90s.
There you go.
The chipset. It went up against the Commodore 64, and it took it on pretty well.
There you go. So you have your expert. Mr. Glen Planamento, youtube.com/GPlanamento. Make sure you guys go subscribe. And
my hands are tired from making my own emails. Please
please. Next we'll get banned from emails. See, we already got banned from bags, and now we're going to get banned from emails. David goes, tell it like it is, Glenn. He goes, guys, really appreciate it. youtube.com/TechBuzz. As soon as we get, like I said, I'd like to get to 10,000 if we can possibly do that, but I think I'll end up giving away this Bit Pixel sooner than that, Bit LCD. If you didn't see it earlier, I'm going to be giving away a Bit LCD.
Give it away.
For anybody, for their At Games Legends machine, whether you have the version 1.0 or 1.1. Yeah. So, guys, if you haven't, I'm going to do a video explaining this giveaway, but the main thing is you just got to subscribe, and then you'll leave a comment on the video saying you subscribed, and then I can check and make sure you subscribed on my channel. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to make you jump through hoops to get in on this. So, spread the word out if you really want one of these I want to give it away before it's obsolete and the next version of that comes out. So I know I'm only at 600 subscribers, but come on, guys. Help a brother out if we can get this. No, I'm not at 600, but we really
Let's get them to 10,000.
Let's get to 10,000. That'll help me out. I really appreciate it. And guys, we will see you next week for more of Game Time.